Hello everyone out there in YouTube land, I am James from Cigar and Bar, and tonight I'm going to be introducing you to a new series of videos on my channel. It's called Travel with Cigar and Bar. And now, the inaugural Travel with Cigar and Bar is going to be a camping video. I went out and I did a little bit of stealth camping in the style of Steve Wallace from the Camping with Steve YouTube channel, which you're going to see linked in the description below. And followed a number of things out of his playbook. I'd like to hope that it's more of an homage and less of a blatant ripoff, but I had a lot of fun doing it. I got to inject a little bit of cigar and bar isms into that event. So lots of fun, although I had a bit of trouble getting in, didn't get a chance to start the recording until after the tent was set up. So this is just a little bit of an intro, and then we're going to be jumping right into the footage that I shot of that night. So just a little bit more about traveling with Cigar and Bar. Sometimes it's going to be just traveling to places and having different experiences. Sometimes it's going to be camping. I'm also going to be doing some more History Corner and some cooking with Cigar and Bar coming up as well. Although there is frequently going to be history and cooking in the camping video. So there's going to be a little bit of crossover here and there. Don't need to be too strict about the naming of anything. You should be able to tell from the name of any video what's going to be going on. And I'm usually pretty good at keeping the descriptions in the comments below the video so you know what each video is about. Just a note on the stealth camping. Stealth camping is the idea that you can go out and enjoy being in the outdoors and sleeping in a tent and cooking and sitting around a fire in places where they're unorthodox, they're atypical, they're not where you'd expect to be camping, and frequently they are places where you're not supposed to be camping. So I'm not going to be including in most of these stealth camp videos any information about where I am. I'm not trespassing, strictly speaking. I'm just not using the space as it was intended. And I like to think that I'm doing that in a forthright manner, and I'm doing that in a way that respects the space. I'm not trashing it, I'm not disrespecting it, I'm not leaving garbage around, I'm not breaking things, I'm also not burning any of the materials that I just kind of find around me, because that would also be disrespectful to the underbrush in some of the areas around here. Is important to the ecosystem. So if you have any questions or comments about urban camping or stealth camping, please leave them below. Keep it respectful, and if you have anything further you'd like to bring up with me, please send me a private message and I'll try to get back to you with that. Anyways, without any further ado, let's jump right into the camping experience, but maybe a little bit of ado. With a new series, I think it's a good time for a new opening video montage, so let's hit it. Lovely full moon tonight. Plunging into darkness on the trails. We got a good spot. Some people are still walking by, coming back up from the frozen ice. There's been lots of people skating and playing hockey on the frozen ice today. I don't think this camera is seeing anything. Just like back there at that nice full moon. And back into darkness. Let's see, we're gonna turn the light on down the end of the trail here. Let's see if we're even visible. Not that it means much to this light, but there is just a little sliver of light. Okay, that's a little visible. We got to keep the light on low. Let's just start approaching it here. Coming down this little spur trail off the main trail. Start to see some a little bit in the distance there. Who is that coming out of the darkness? Why, it's friend of the channel, Stephanie Galbraith. Yeah, not bad at all. Well, we're in the tent, we're all set up, and because this is right near to a place where lots of people are out on the ice or still wandering around the dog park up there, we're just going to take it real easy and wait for those people to go inside where it's sensible, and then we're going to start cooking some food. So we've got all our stuff tracked in, we've got our tent set up, we've foraged for some wood. That sounds like 3 steps, so I think we're going to wait for step 2.
I think so. Oh.
Right, step 2 is a steam whistle Pilsner, which has been featured on the channel before. I really like it, so cheers. Here's to hunkering down.
Hunkering down. That's good beer. That's really good beer.
Alright, we're going to cook ourselves a nice meal out here. We're going to cook ourselves something I invented that I'm calling taco stew. Let's get this lit. So the first step is get the stove going here. The first step is to brown the beef. Normally, I'd say the first step would be to cook up the onion and the garlic, but even this is an extra lean ground beef. I do want to pour off some of the fat. Got the ground beef nice and browned in there over low heat. Now I'm going to add some sweet yellow onion. And some garlic. Lots of garlic. Never met a recipe that I didn't think was underestimating the amount of garlic. So we've got the ground beef, onion, and garlic in here with some taco seasoning and a bit of water. Now I'm going to add a can of mild chopped tomatoes and green chilies. And I should have brought a bigger pot. Almost done this adventure. I'm also going to add in the part that makes it more of a stew for me, and I'm going to add some canned sliced potato. And we're going to let that cook for a little bit. Alright, we got the food here. And it's been sitting for a while. I also added in a little bit of salsa, and that's looking pretty good. Good dollop of this food in the bowl, and it looks more like a chili than a stew, but the potatoes really make it a little more stew-like. So lovely bowl of food there. We're going to add 3 more things. Add a little sour cream. I'm going to add a little shredded Tex-Mex cheese. Any cheese will do, but this I just figured taco might as well go Tex-Mex. And I'm going to add These are always great. If you want to go for condiments when you're camping, go for fast food condiments. This is the Fire hot sauce from Taco Bell. And I just got a bunch of these from Taco Bell the last time I went there. They said, "Do you want hot sauce in the bag?" I said, "Yes, please." And they threw 20 of them in the bag. So I got a bunch of them. So I'm going to mix this in as well. And that, a little messy. Let's mix it in a little bit. If you can't tell, it's starting to snow rather heavily here, which means we'll have a nice coat of snow on the tent in the morning. Let's see how this tastes. That's good. That's really good. I'm sure if I left this to let the cheese melt a little more, it'd be even better. This is pretty good. I'm going to dig into the rest of this, and I'll get back to you when I'm ready to do something else. Cheers. Well, it's coming down quite heavy here in the snow, as you can see. I'm just keeping myself warm over a little fire in a bucket. And I'm enjoying some McBaron Stockton spun cut in my Brigham Algonquin. This is possibly the coldest tobacco I've ever tried to light. It's taking no tamping. I don't have to tamp this at all. It is taking several relights. It's currently -2 out here. So not the coldest I've ever smoked in, but I don't think I packed a pipe with tobacco that has been outdoors in -2 for several hours before I tried to smoke it. I'd like to consider this if setting up the camp is step 1 and having a beer is a Steve Wass step 2. I'd like to consider lighting a pipe to be a cigar and bar step 3. It is quite nice and it is quite enjoyable here under the rapidly falling snow. It means we're going to have to get the camera indoors and going to have to start bundling up pretty soon. It's 10:15 now. My primary concern isn't the weather, or the tent, or the fire, or the pipe. My concern right now is losing the things that I've left outside here under the snow, and I won't be able to find them in the morning. So we're going to have to do a bit of a whip around here and clean up the camp, get everything into the tent and bundled away, and then maybe we'll have one last check-in around the fire before we curl up in our sleeping bags. So we'll catch you in a minute. Hope the fire flares up a bit here. We get a little more light. And it seems to be obliging. Snow is still coming down. It's quite nice. It'll give us a little bit of white noise, a little bit of dampening of sound throughout the evening. I'm sitting here still enjoying the rest of this bowl of Stockton Spun Cut in my Brigham Algonquin. And I have a lovely glass of, those of you who have watched my camping before know, this is Whiskey Tang. And this is actually hot Whiskey Tang, which essentially makes it a very artificial whiskey skin cocktail. It's just hot water, tang, and some Canadian Club whiskey, and it sounds fairly simplistic, but it definitely hits the spot on a cold night like this, where the snow's coming down pretty heavy. Oh yeah, it warms you all the way inside. Now, I'm no fool. I know that winter camping with an excessive amount of alcohol is never a good thing, because you feel warmer, but you're actually losing your heat. But this is just a little splash of whiskey in here. Maybe, okay, maybe, not a little splash. Just in a glass like this, there's about 2 to 3 ounces of whiskey in there. And I'm going to be bundling up into my tent soon. I'm not doing anything stupid, not running off into the ice. But a little bit of pleasantry like this will go a long way. I'm going to finish this up, and I'm going to kit all my stuff into the tent before it gets buried in snow. And I will check in with you in the morning, and we'll see how we slept. See you soon. Well, it's morning, just after sunrise. This tent is usually pretty good for 2 people, if you're cozy. 1 person is great. We encountered a snag in that the snow came down so heavy last night that it's weighed down on the tarp outside and it's pushing in the walls in here. So we've lost several square feet of space inside the tent overnight. So it got a little difficult getting around each other this morning. But the snow is still gently falling out there. And it's looking like it's going to be a nice snowy morning, so let's get the stuff in here packed up and we start worrying about breakfast. Lots of snow fell last night. This is the tent partially covered there. We're going to come back. Our first trip is kitting out all the heavy bulky stuff, and we're going to come back for the last of it because we're not that far away from home base here. It's a pretty flat trail here, but the snow is pretty deep. Whoa. Let's go blaze that trail. Oh. Now that we're coming out, we're not going to have much time before our footprints in the snow make it painfully obvious that someone's been out here. At least it's nice, light, fluffy snow. Keep rolling my feet on branches. Ow. And in case there's any question as to how much snow fell last night, you can see how much snow fell last night off this railing. So down there is our now completely invisible camp. I wouldn't even know where to look. I really couldn't tell you where we were down there last night. What do you think, Steph?
Hey! What do you think about what? Snow?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
All right, well, let's get somewhere warm. So that was my first camping with Traveling with Cigar and Bar. Had a lot of fun, had a really good meal, had a couple nice warm drinks, and smoked a good pipe. That morning was actually a record in the Hamilton area for a snowfall for, I can't remember how many years it was, but it was a good 32 centimeters of snow that came down. So that snow that came down on the tent just kept going for another couple of hours and made getting out in vehicles very difficult. But like I mentioned in the video, wasn't very far from a home base there, so we just got hunkered down for the day and wait for the snowplows to come around and clear everything up. So that's probably the best way to go about it. Hope you enjoyed watching that. Hope you have an interest in seeing more camping videos, because at this point I've already shot a bunch, so they're going to be posted probably one a month. I'm not going to try to oversaturate this channel with a lot of camping content. I find it appropriate. I find it a good mix, a good pairing with alcohol and tobacco, but others might, so I'm not going to try and commandeer the whole channel about camping. So if you have any other questions or comments about the video, please comment below. If you liked it, please give a like and consider following, because I'm going to be doing more of this. And if you have a chance to try making any taco stew yourself, either at the campsite or over your own stove, let me know how you liked it. I thought it was pretty good. Anyways, I am James from Cigar and Bar. This has been Travel with Cigar and Bar, and I will see you next time when we travel somewhere fun. Cheers.